Yeah, so here's where we're at. Foil Food, Melton Mowbray. Yeah, so these are the biggest beef producers in the UK. They brag about how ethical they are, how sustainable they are. And we've actually had a look on the site. There's so many job openings at the minute. They clearly struggle to get people who want to work in these places, which isn't surprising at all. Yeah, for those just joining, so we're outside a Cow Slaughterhouse here in Melton Mowbray, Foil Food Group. They're the biggest beef producer, solo beef producer in the UK. They brag about how ethical they are, how sustainable they are. Yeah, people in the chat, could you put a 1 if you're a vegan, a 2 if you're not vegan but you're open-minded, and a 3 if you're a troll. Oh, have we got a truck here? This one? I don't know if that might not be for this. No. Okay. Hey, Marianne, sorry, I don't speak. I think that's Spanish.
I'm not sure about these guys' sexuality, to be honest.
Could people let me know if you can hear me okay? So if you've just joined, we're outside a Cow Slaughterhouse in Melton Mowbray in the UK. It's Foil Food Group. They're the biggest cow producer, beef producer in the UK. They brag about how ethical they are, how sustainable they are. Okay, thanks Marianne, you can hear me. And yeah, we're looking to see the truth today about what truly goes on in there. See what we can see. So yeah, there's a truck, I think, coming out now where they took animals in earlier. So yeah, these trucks are what they took the animals in to be murdered. Got some other activists here, so Gem Lettuce is live, and we've got a couple more activists with signs. Yeah, show you what we've got on the signs. We betray them. And then just letting everyone know that this is a slaughterhouse, because often people who drive by, like, they don't even know. You can't tell this is a slaughterhouse. So one's just gone there. Then another one's coming out here, a bigger one. Yeah, as you can tell by the size of the two trucks, that first one will have probably come from a family farm. Marianne, so you're saying it's a cultural thing, but I would say, do you think culture is an excuse for what happens to animals in animal agriculture? Have you seen any footage of what happens? We're going to look if we can see any cows going in. So for those who have just joined, we're outside Foil Slaughterhouse in Melton Mowbray, where they slaughter cows here. It's the biggest solo cow slaughterhouse company in the UK. Marianne, well, you're welcome to have a debate. We're here to have a conversation. We're not here to judge you. But yeah, you have to go. So yeah, someone's... Oh, thank you, Karen. Yeah, thanks for coming here.
Yeah, so yeah, you can see there's a cow. I'm not sure how well we can see here.
Yeah, we can actually see some cows going in now. Don't know if you can hear them on this.
Yeah, so they should all be shut down. So yeah, for a prey animal, this places like this are absolutely terrifying because these animals, they can smell the
And yeah, they're clearly struggling to get them off. They know what's coming. They can smell the awful smell is here. They'll be able to smell the blood of the other cows.
that they know about this. And I can hear them crying inside as well. Can anyone hear this?
So people who've just joined, we're live outside a Cow Slaughterhouse. Okay, so they've got them all in now. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go walk around the public footpath down the side now, see what we can see. So for those just joined, we're outside a Cow Slaughterhouse in Melton Mowbray today. It's part of Foyle. They're like the biggest beef producer, solo beef producer in the UK. Hey, Miss Teaspoon, thanks for joining. Ooh. People are definitely noticing us now. Hey Sean, you alright? The sound is cutting out. Oh, okay. So yeah, we're outside Foyle Slaughterhouse in Melton Mowbray. So here they kill cows. It's one of the, well, it is the biggest solo beef producer in the UK. They brag about kind of how ethical they are, how sustainable they are. But yeah, in reality, why would they keep this all closed off if that's the case? Those in the chat, could you put a 1 if you're a vegan, 2 if you're not vegan but you're open-minded, and 3 if you're a troll? Oh, I think someone's coming over to speak to us. Morning, you alright? Yeah, we're not here to cause any disruption, just get footage. Oh, is this? Okay, we thought this was a public footpath to the side. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, we'll do. Could we just check with like the trucks? Could we get like a minute or so just to see the animals? Okay, thank you. Cheers. Okay, we'll go back round. So yeah, we're going back round to the front now. Huh? Oh, hello, you alright?
Yeah, all right, mate.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, yeah, I was just watching you down. I was just dropped like a van off next door.
Oh, okay.
Because I deliver vehicles. Like,
Right.
So I said I'd come and say hello to you guys.
Oh, okay. Do you want to have a little chat on the live stream? Yeah? What's your name, mate?
Spotty.
Spotty, I see.
Spotty, all right, mate.
So are you a vegan yourself?
Yeah,
or
I'm
you
vegan,
are? Oh,
yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, I was just talking to you on the stream. I said I was just up the road.
Yeah, so this guy's decided to join us today. Yeah, it is freezing. So yeah, we've been told this bit's private, apparently. But we're allowed to, we'll go back round the front. Hopefully we'll see some trucks go in. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, man, I sometimes come here like every now and then just to deliver next door.
Yeah.
Especially in the summer when you can smell it really bad.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, you're in Canada. Very interesting. What time is it in Canada? So we've got a truck here. It's obviously not with animals. Oh wow, 4 o'clock. Wow, kudos to you for being up this early. It's 9 o'clock here in the UK. Oh, Miss Teaspoon says hello. Someone says hello. Oh. There we go.
All right.
So yeah, he was on Gem's live stream and spotted that we were here, so came to join us. So there's how many of us? Five of us here now. 5 of us here. Yeah, so there was 2 trucks before I actually started the live this morning. We might get a few more. We'll see. But we did catch some cows actually being sent into the slaughterhouse earlier. Yeah. So yeah, for anyone who's just joined, or you do vigils there, that's great. So we're outside Foyle Group slaughterhouse in Melton Mowbray, where they kill cows here for beef. Yeah, boo them. I think they're the biggest beef producer in the UK, and they kind of brag about, you know, how ethical they are, how sustainable they are. But Gem's actually spoke to one of the workers earlier, and they wouldn't tell us anything. So they're clearly not very transparent, and they're not willing to prove that it's ethical and that that's the case here. But yeah, we'll see if we see any trucks. For anyone else who's just joined, do you want to put in the chat 1 if you're a vegan, 2 if you're not vegan but you're open-minded, and 3 if you're a troll? Two. So Love Estella, thank you for being here. So yeah, today we're outside Cow Slaughterhouse in Melton Mowbray in the UK, where they kill cows. So yeah, Love Estella, do you have any questions about, you know, why we'd be vegan. Is there anything stopping you from going vegan? And stopping and paying for, you know, animals being exploited and killed? Yes, Miss Teaspoon's got a good recommendation there. Watch Dominion. And, you know, we're not here to judge you. We're here to, you know, have an open conversation with you and show you the truth about what happens to animals. Yeah, all these are good recommendations that's going in the chat now. Okay, I've just figured out who one of them is. Yes, look up Challenge 22. It's a brilliant way to help you go vegan. So it's like 22, it gives you 22 days worth of meals, and if you're on Facebook, it'll add you to a Facebook group and you'll get a mentor to help you go vegan. And yeah, they'll answer any questions you have about where you can get all your proteins, everything you need as a vegan, and you can get it all very easily. We don't need to continue to do this to animals. See if we can get that. You say you've been here a few times. Yeah. Do you want to say like a bit about, I don't know, things you've seen, what you've smelled?
Just, you know, I've seen the trucks coming like in and out, and being like a driver, you see like the animals on the truck.
Yeah.
When they get here, they know what's going on. They can smell like the feel. Not regularly, but like sort of a couple of times like a month. It's just horrible place. It's just like being next door as well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I've got to have to go and come to places like this to
No. So there's a van going in there now. I don't think there's any actual animals in there, but a worker going in. Just don't get why you'd want to work at a place like this. We actually looked at the site. There's so many job openings at the minute. They're clearly struggling to get people to work there. Who would want to work in a place like this? And you know, if they're so ethical like they say, why don't they let us, why aren't they more transparent? Why don't they show us what's going on inside? There's a truck here, it's not full of animals though. Right, there's rumours it was going to be shutting down. Yeah. And you know, they brag about how they say beef is an essential part of the diet when it's anything but. You know, it's a carcinogen. You don't need beef in your diet at all. It's not healthy. You think about people, and when you go into a hospital, what do you see? Do you see a load of protein deficient vegans, or do you see people with cancer? Do you see people having heart attacks? Do you think vegetables cause these? No, it's not. It's red meats that cause this. So yeah, we've already seen 2 trucks go in this morning before we started recording. But yeah, we may get some more. Anyone who's joining, I'll just say again, so we're outside Foyle in Melton Mowbray. It's a cow slaughterhouse. They brag about how ethical they are, how sustainable they are. They're the biggest beef producer in the UK. But we've actually already spoke to one of the workers today, and they wouldn't really answer any of our questions, so they're clearly not transparent. If they were so ethical, if they were so sustainable, they would, right? So you have to think, why are they not answering those questions? So yeah, hopefully today we're looking to expose them a bit. We're looking to show you how the animals feel when they go inside, how terrified they are. if you were here, you'd realise how much it stinks. The smell is awful. There's 5 of us here today, so Jem is also live, and then we've got a couple of other activists on the road with signs. And then, is it Spotty? And then, yeah, someone else who was actually on James' live stream has decided to join here today, who works by it, and he said he's seen all the terrified animals go in on a regular basis and how much it stinks as well. Those who've just joined, could you let me know? Could you put a 1 in the chat if you're a vegan, a 2 if you're not vegan but you're open-minded, and a 3 if you're a troll? Is the sound okay? Could someone let me know? So for those just joining again, sound is fine, thank you, Karen. So for those just joining again, we're outside Foyle. It's Cow Slaughterhouse in Melton Mowbray. They brag about how ethical they are, how sustainable they are. And Jem, who's here as well, actually had a conversation with one of the workers, but they wouldn't answer any of our questions. So, you know, if they were so ethical, so sustainable, surely they'd be open about it. Surely they'd be open to what actually happens in there. Why are these places so closed off if it's so ethical, if it's okay what's happening there? Why do they hide it so much? Anyone in the chat? So could you let me know if you're vegan? Could you put a 1? If you're not vegan but you're open-minded, could you put a 2? And if you're a troll with smelly breath, could you put a 3? Yes, we've actually had a few people give us a beep of support for what we're doing. We've got 2 people with signs there, letting people, one of them letting know, yeah, exactly, Karen, there's nothing ethical that happens in there. Yeah, we've got one sign saying that this, letting people know this is a slaughterhouse, because a lot of people, you know, you come back this place, you wouldn't know. No one has a clue that this is a slaughterhouse. Hey David, you alright? Thanks for joining. Yeah, we're outside Foyle today, a Cow Slaughterhouse in Melton Mowbray. So we've got humans are made to eat meat and have big sharp canines. Yeah, I mean, I compare those canines to actual carnivores in the wild. You'll notice a big size difference. And also, you know, do we have the do people have that desire to go and eat an animal live? I don't think we do. So I think that proves that point wrong. You know, as human, we don't need to eat meat. You know, the biggest study ever done shows that any stage of life, including pregnancy, including infancy, you can be healthy, you can survive and thrive on a plant-based diet. We don't need places like this anymore. We don't need to send animals into slaughter where they're absolutely terrified. Exactly, Karen. Gorillas have the biggest canine. That defeats those arguments. Yeah, so we've already seen a couple of trucks this morning. We actually saw some of the cows going into the slaughterhouse as well. But we might get some more today. Anyone who's just joined, sorry for those who are here, and I'm just repeating myself, but yeah, we're outside Foyle Slaughterhouse in Melton Mowbray, where cows are murdered here. It's the biggest beef producer in the UK. They brag about how ethical and sustainable they are, and Jem, who's here as well, actually tried to speak to one of the workers, and you know, they wouldn't answer any of her questions. And you know, if they were so ethical, if they were so sustainable, they would surely they'd be open about it. Surely they'd allow us. This place wouldn't be so closed off. You know, what have they got to hide if it's so ethical?
Shouldn't be, so.
Yeah.
So I'm still at work, you see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, we're driving past you in a minute anyway.
Right, okay. But no, thanks for joining for a bit, yeah. See you later. Cheers. So yeah, we had someone there. He joined us for a bit after he was on Jem's live stream. He's vegan as well, and he's witnessed a lot of animals, terrified animals, go into these places. He's witnessed this. He's like smell how bad it is. He works just by here, so he's witnessed how bad the smell is all the time. He's seen the terrified animals go in. They know they're going into slaughter. They can smell the blood of those that have been killed before them. So yeah, you know, no slaughterhouse is ethical, as Karen pointed out earlier. No matter what they say, all their marketing, it's propaganda. Okay, we've had a few people join. So those who have just joined, could you let me know in the chat if you're vegan? Could you put a 1? If you're not vegan but you're open-minded, put a 2. If you're a troll, put 3. So we're outside Cow Slaughterhouse in the UK. It's a cow slaughterhouse in Melton Mowbray. They're the biggest beef producer in the UK. They brag about how ethical they are. Yes, Karen, well done. Brag about how ethical they are, how sustainable they are. And Jem, who's here as well, actually tried to speak to one of the workers. But they wouldn't answer any other questions. They're not transparent at all. If they were, you know, if these things were true, if nothing wrong was happening there, surely they'd be open about it. Surely they'd be open to having a discussion, but they weren't at all. So yeah, anyone who's just joined the chat, could you let me know? 1, if you're vegan. 2, if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded. And 3, if you're a troll. So yeah, we've already seen a couple of trucks go in with terrified animals in today. And yeah, we might get some more, we're not sure. That might be it for today. But yeah, there's 4 of us here at the minute. I'll show you the others. So we've got Jem, who's also live. Then there's a couple of others. Go over to them. Show you the signs. So yeah, we're letting everyone know that this is a slaughterhouse, since, you know, if you drive past this, you wouldn't be able to tell, really. And then, you know, big sign here. These animals, they trust us, you know, we act like we're looking after them, and then we send them to slaughter. It's the ultimate betrayal, really. And we want people to drive past to think about that. To think about whether we have to do this to animals anymore, because we clearly don't. Places like this, they don't need to exist anymore. You know, we can survive and thrive as vegans on a plant-based diet. We do not need to eat any animal products. This awful, unacceptable exploitation simply does not need to happen. These places don't need to be open, and the reason they are open is because people fund these products. And we simply don't need to anymore. So yeah, if anyone just joined, we're outside Cow Slaughterhouse in Melton Mowbray in the UK. It's the biggest producer of beef in the UK. They brag about how ethical they are, how sustainable they are, but then Jem actually tried to speak to one of the workers earlier, and they wouldn't answer any other questions. They wouldn't wouldn't answer the questions about how they're ethical, how they're sustainable. And, you know, if they were, surely they'd be transparent. Surely they'd be open to speaking to us. You know, why is this place so closed off? Surely, you know, it's a place of business. Why aren't they open about what they do? So anyone who's just joined the chat, could you let me know? You put 1 if you're vegan, 2 if you're not vegan but you're open-minded, and 3 if you're a troll. Karen, of course they do, yeah. That's why they don't. That's why they're not willing to have a conversation. Yeah, there's no excuse for what they do. And there's no justifying it. Like, they can't be proud to work here. If they are, then I'd question, you know, if they're a psychopath or not. And yeah, we've actually looked on the site. There's so many job openings at this place. They clearly struggle to attract workers, which isn't surprising. Who would want to work at a place like this? And yeah, I'm sure people who do, they often quit. And, you know, there's a lot of cases of people who work in slaughterhouse. They end up with all sorts of issues. They end up with PTSD, depression. They often end up being violent outside as well. And yeah, which really isn't surprising. If you're spending your whole day slaughtering animals, being around this, it's not going to do good things to you. It's really not. So yeah, the other activists now are heading down. We just want to let people know what's going on here. We've actually had a few people beep in support of what we're doing here. So yeah, there's actually another company just by this as well. So there's some workers driving out from there. So we're trying to let them know what this place is if they don't know already. Because, you know, it's really not, it's not visible what it is. You can't tell. It mentions food group, but it doesn't make clear that it's a slaughterhouse here. Yes, we've also got Jem here. She's live. Yeah, I mean, this is a much different one. So last time we were outside a slaughterhouse, we actually tried to go to reception and actually got attacked. So, you know, that tells you what the mentality of the people who work at these kind of places. But yeah, we've not had that today. We just tried to have a conversation with one person, but he wasn't really willing to have a discussion, it seems. So yeah, anyone in the chat, if you're not vegan, ask questions. Is there anything you don't understand about veganism? Is there anything you want to know? Yeah. Yeah, so this is part of Mel and Steve's live stream today. Their Project Live, sorry. If anyone is vegan, you know, if you can get involved, please do so. It's so important that we expose all these places for what they are and let as many people know as we can. Exactly, Karen, exactly. It's always going to lead to those. Why do we have a digestive truck? Yeah, exactly. If you're going to be violent to animals, you're likely to end up being violent to humans as well. And even people who don't end up like that, they often end up with depression. They can end up suicidal as a result of working in these places. You know, it's not going to do good things to you. It's really not. But yeah, like I said, we've had a couple of trucks go in this morning before we started the live. But we've not had any since then, but we may get some more, we'll see. It could be that they've actually stopped because we're here and they don't want us to see. But we'll see what happens. But we did see some cows going in, sort of being transported into the slaughterhouse from the trucks, and they were clearly terrified. It was hard to get them to go in. They know what's coming. They can smell the blood of the people, of the other cows who have died before. Someone just beeping in support of what we're doing there to expose these places. You know, the public needs to know that this is happening. A lot of people don't think about what's going on behind the purchase decisions they make. When they buy, you know, animal products in the shop, there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect between what's happening behind closed doors in these places and then what people buy from the shelves. So yeah, anyone who's just joined, we're outside Foyle Food Group in the UK. It's one of the biggest cow producers of beef in the UK. They brag about how ethical they are, how sustainable they are, and yet Jem tried to have a conversation with one of the workers earlier, but they weren't willing to communicate. And you know, surely if these things were true, if they were ethical, if there was nothing wrong happening in there, they'd be open to having a conversation about it, surely. Why are these places so closed off? So another truck going in there. I'm not exactly sure what's in there. So yeah, if you just joined, can you let me know in the chat? 1, if you're a vegan. 2, if you're not vegan but you're open-minded. And 3, if you're a troll. They do. I don't believe they do CO2 here for cows, no. It's a bolt gun, I imagine, but I'm not positive on that here. They don't, believe it or not, they don't share how they kill the animals on their website, which isn't really surprising, because I imagine a lot of people wouldn't like to hear it. You'd think they would though, right? If they're so ethical, surely they'd tell us their practices, what they use here. Yeah, anyone who's just joined, so we're outside Foyle Slaughterhouse in the UK, where cows are murdered here for beef. It's the biggest beef producer in the UK. Yeah, they are going to hide how they kill them. They don't want the public to know. So yeah, we tried to actually speak to a worker here, but they weren't willing to speak to us about what happens here. I mean, don't know about you, but a lot of businesses, I think they'd be open to what they do there, but for some reason this place isn't. They don't want the public to know what goes on here. So yeah, anyone who's just joined, if you let me know in the chat, 1, if you're vegan, 2, if you're not vegan but you're open-minded, and 3, if you're a troll. So yeah, we had a couple of trucks come in before I went live, but we've not seen any since then, but we did catch so them transporting a couple of some cows from the truck into the slaughterhouse. Seems like they get both family farms and larger farms here, because we had a smaller truck and a bigger truck, but it doesn't matter. All these places, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, mine come from a local farm. It doesn't matter. They all end up in the same place, in these hellholes. And you know, they're all terrified when they're murdered. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Local, big farm, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. They all end up in the same place. And yeah, it's just a Jem saying. So, you know, check out these guys' website. You know, check out what they claim to be. But they're clearly not open about it when we actually come and speak to them in person. Yeah, so with that, I think I'm gonna end the live stream here, because not much has happened in a while, but Gem is still live, so if you go over to her channel and join her live, so if anything else happens, it'll be on hers. All right, thanks guys, gonna end it there.